Ziggity Zig, back with a Friday Faff, and this is a game between RuSH, who is up here in the top right of Frost, and StarIICraft over here on the left. So, there it is right there. And RuSH is actually a new friend of mine who was at peak level I think placed second in Diamond at the highest. But now, since all the reworkings of all the ladders, he is now down in Gold League. So this is a Gold League game between RuSH and StarIICraft. I'm going to get very confused saying StarIICraft every time. But RuSH is also a Terran player, so I'm not really certain how to do the Terran casting. Because I would think that at 10 production, once you are at 10, is that not when you... Aha, there we go. So you begin... You can start making that supply depot on 11. See, I thought I always made it on the 10. Oh well, so we're learning. I'm learning, and other things are learning. So here go the Overlords. Looks like this is... there's no tech going down right away. Looks like a lot of droning up right now for StarIICraft. And RuSH doing essentially the same thing. So small supply cap just there. So I'm not sure if you build it on the 10 instead of the 11, but I don't know. StarIICraft doing the optimal thing, which is just have a quick peek around and try to see if you can find out where your opponent is. RuSH deciding against that, but I do believe, and I'm not just saying this because I know what builds look like, but he does let me know that he does do a one barracks expand pretty much every time. Because the one thing that we always talk about with the basic units of Terran is you can make like 2 Marines right away at the same speed that you can make 2 Zealots or 2 Zerglings, but the only difference there is that Marines can shoot up. So with a lot of different things, just having that basic unit being ranged, it's just kind of, nice. In fact, I can't think of, are there any units in Terran that aren't ranged? Are there any melee units? I don't really think that there are. So in theory, the Terran does have the advantage the entire way. 1 gas going down. There's a spawning pool just sort of finishing up. So it is I think that was pool before hatch, I'm fairly certain, but there is the command center, so it's going to be 2 base, 2 base, and RuSH is just having a quick peek around the map right now just to find out where his opponent is, going the old clockwise direction, which is the traditional route. I don't even know if it's traditional, it's my traditional route, so we'll go with traditional anyway. Meantime, see, if we peek in over here, we found that the EPM is actually much lower than I was expecting it to be. I thought it would be a lot higher, being as these two guys are some pretty elite foes going on right here. So this is just some additional... Yeah, there we go. So this Marine is just basically going to be able to keep up any sort of range defense against just about any unit that would come in. Now with Zerg, you're not really expecting anything early that isn't a Zergling, but if you were, say, going up against a Protoss, you might get a 3-stalker RuSH, you might get Stalkers a little bit early, just sort of boost it out if they were really trying to punish you or hit you with a little bit, but again, you've got this. So if nothing else, no, you can't necessarily stop it without a whole bunch of really awesome micro, but you can sort of deter a lot of different things, which is why I always have a hard time saying, oh, let's go and scout out or send in a couple of Zealots to go and see what the Terran's doing, mostly because I think to myself, well, if I do find out that there's a bunch of Marines over there, that is going to tell me something. So there's a bunker going down in the front, and that's really going to help out, because one thing that does is that secures your Marines so that they don't take quite as much damage. This SEV is finally going to get in here for RuSH and have a little poke, or not a poke, but just a peek, and find out that, yes, and there's also a Zergling coming over here to see what's going on here, but this 3-2 in mine and other people's... Oh, he accidentally... Oh, and does just barely get that one, and I think the SCV also loses its life over here, probably to one of these queens. Let's just have a quick peek. Yep, there's kills 1 right there. So kills 1 up on the top queen, with the lower one not quite so much. I believe it does seem like RuSH was, yes, accidentally saying things that he didn't quite mean to say. There's a mule hopping down just there. So if you look at the income for both players, despite the fact it does seem that StarIICraft was macroing just a little bit more, and there's proof right there. Proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is the 3rd base for the Zerg, which is approximately about the same level of viscosity, because it's kind of squishy bases. This is the problem with playing Zerg, is they get all squishy and they run all over the place, and so if you don't use Weight Watchers, then you spill out over your belt. Forget what I was talking about, but if you do see over here is that the gas level is a little bit higher there for StarIICraft than it is for RuSH, and RuSH is actually just finishing up 2 gas right now, so it was not collecting any gas whatsoever. So this is just basically as many Marines into the one single bunker, and then to sort of protect yourself with the remainder of supply depots. Try not to worry about gas too much, so really not working in anything along the lines of upgrades or whatnot. So here is the I was about to say here is the obvious roach swarm, but it looks like it's going to be a baneling nest. So going up against Terran, yes, predominantly bio early on in the game, and there's the speedling update is already there, so that's kind of curious where he's going to go speedling, and then the first thing he's going to do is just turn those speedlings into banelings, which slows them down tremendously because I don't think he's going to have baneling speed up just yet. It does take a while for that to come up. Ah, there we go. So the scan by RuSH spots that baneling nest, which is kind of an odd place to put it. I don't really know, but if you count the gas geysers, there's also 4 for the Zerg player, and I don't think RuSH has yet taken the second. Does have enough in the first 2, so now it's just mostly working on getting a number of barracks and marines, just sort of slowly pushing out. Here are some more of these Zerglings, and enable structure attack. Allows banelings to... But they're not Baneling. Oh, one of them is a Baneling. What up? So we do have a Baneling. No upgrades to speak of thus far. Going to pop back over here, and Centrifugal Hooks is starting, and that will increase the Baneling speed. So he's going to roll at him and get some Carapace up. So that is hopefully going to be a rather heavy Baneling attack. Now, having scouted... or having scanned the banelings, looks like RuSH is going to just basically make himself a wall of things to hide behind. Here comes, it's just an overseer, and he's going to run in here with a marine. The marine's going to run through, but was able to look to spot that, did see it with the workers, and was able to kill it with those workers, which is actually a lot better than I would normally get through. The supply is definitely highly, at least expandable in RuSH's favor, where StarIICraft does have a slightly smaller army supply, but now... Actually, no, the army supply is in RuSH's favor, but the economy is certainly in StarIICraft's favor. Now, once again, RuSH getting a really, really awesome scout on that. Here come these banelings. The centrifugal hooks will be done in a number of seconds, but for now it does look like these marines are going to be in pretty decent shape. They are coming out here, so he is preparing, just having a quick peek around to see if there's anyone hiding just here up on his ramp, because again, he would do all right to be at the top of the ramp and not any further down, so coming out this far might be a little bit too far of a push, but I think he might also be maybe sending one Ling over here to have a look at this Xel'Naga tower. Nope, choosing not to, staying close to the base, close to where the bunker is, close to the safety of all of these supply depots, which do have quite a number of more health than each Marine. 400, yeah, if you had a 400 Marine, I think you'd probably be sitting pretty. So here's a few just little speedlings are kind of maneuvering over into different corners just to find out if there's anything that's going to prevent this Baneling attack, and it does look like, yep, centrifugal hooks have finished. Still just only in the 3 bases, which is kind of curious, because I really expected to see that expanded to, I don't know, 3, 4, but with the money that he's got right now, they're both keeping their money down quite low. It is an actual different icon for the races. That's kind of cool. So RuSH is just keeping his army tight to his chest. But he is just a little bit behind right now, and so far as the worker supply, so the income tab is going to show that StarIICraft is doing just a little bit better, especially in the gas front, but realistically, RuSH does not need all that much gas, because you look at how much gas StarIICraft is gaining right now, that's too much. Having 3-3 in both and not actually doing anything with it, I mean, I know Banelings do take a little bit of gas, so here is the Marine Marauder Medevac off 2 bases, off the 1 barracks expansion. This is pretty much where you want to go. There's the combat shield I can see on them right now. I didn't even check to see whether that was actually being upgraded. These are the armor level, so a few things coming out right now and there's another command center, so he's about to expand if this does not quite work, but that does seem to be. There's the stim, spreading them apart. The Banelings pretty late to the party, and a lot of these Zerglings do get mopped up by the stim, and there's a few of them left. The medevacs do pick up the remainder of the bio units, and that was, I don't know, I think that was a pretty even trade right there. So if you look at the units killed, it's actually higher in RuSH's, but that is just the units. If you look at the resources lost, it's only slightly in favor for RuSH, where he was able to do a bit more damage. And I think that was just because of a really good amount of scouting and just sort of knowledgeable, knowing what kind of things were coming and what was going on. But if you look at this, I don't think any kind of spire has been scouted, so now at this point, getting kind of lucky here where these medevacs are actually, no, they are abandoning the base. I thought it was going to just be, so the army is in the right place at the right time, but the problem there is that these mutalisks are now going to hop in and do quite a bit of damage on each of these barracks right here, but this Doom Drop right here is probably going to do a lot more damage than these mutalisks could. RuSH is actually sending a number of units over here to take care of these mutalisks, but no, he hops in down here on the 4th base, does lose a number of units there, but still picks up and is able to make his way up the ramp faster than these Zerg units can make their way up the ramp. But it looks like no, RuSH is going to give up and head back home, trying to take out this Mutalisk attack, which is really not doing quite as much as you'd think it would be doing. They're just taking out some of these expansions, these add-ons. I couldn't think of the word add-on for whatever reason. My brain just totally frogged up right there, and of course using the word frogged up. So was able to notice that the Mutalisks were coming in and decided to build a couple of missile turrets just to keep moving. So if you look at the income is actually quite a bit now ahead for StarIICraft, but I still think that as far as just ability to know what is coming, or just having the right kind of unit composition, those Mutalisks were all kind of balled up in one, but here we go, they're all sort of moved into the one group now, and here's a number of Banelings, so he is going to split them up once more, which didn't really work the first time, so I'm curious to see what he thinks is going to happen this time. So the Mutalisks are going up here once more to the top right. Here's a number of the Terran units, and now they all get picked up, because the ground units are not going to last all that long. But here come the Mutalisks, and they're going to try to pick off a few of these medevacs, and that's probably going to go pretty badly. So RuSH needs to drop out these units right now, right on top of everything, but he comes in over here on top of the bunker and is able to drop in behind the line, and then these Mutalisks do not fare so well quite against the bunkers, and a number of SCVs are going to come out here and sort of chase out some more of these ground units, keeping these 2 Marines up here on the high ground. Most of the army is still not even out at the moment. I don't think he's really lost all that much in so far as the workers killed, but oh no, he did lose 17 workers, but that could have been a whole lot worse, I dare say. And there we go with one just being attacked down here at the 4th expansion, but it was able to clean that up. Here comes some more medevacs, so if you look at the army size, it is still just a little bit ahead for StarIICraft. The worker supply is quite far ahead, is now moving out, grabbing a 5th base. RuSH is only getting the third base just down here, but once again, unit composition and units lost, it does look pretty bad. The units lost is far ahead, but of course with cheap units from the Zerg and expendable ones that you can just make up for more larvae, and the more larvae you get from the queens, and that's just free energy, so that's a much easier token. These Marauders are going to move just past because they can't fire up, of course, but they're going to move in towards these Banelings, and it looks like RuSH is going to try to spread his Marines out, but at the same time try to defend themselves. These Marauders, not many of them take too much of a hit, but a few of these Marines are still able to take care. There are only 8 of these Mutalisks here at the moment, but it does look like RuSH is just sort of gaining a little bit of momentum and moving across the map here, and just does have enough. There's no Banelings under production right now, and the Banelings pretty much were the best way that StarIICraft was going to get through this game, because the Mutalisks are just not putting in enough work. They are getting through right now just because RuSH has run out of Marines at the moment, but I do believe they're going to find that once we get back here to the base, we're going to see a very large force is going to come through at the exact same time. There's a couple of Widow Mines way there in the back. Now once again, StarIICraft does notice that there is nothing to be done here, tries to come in once more and realize that the Mutalisks need to be chased off of the ground units. The Zerglings can certainly do a little bit of damage, but they get picked up very quickly, mopped up by the Marines with their mops on the end of their rifles, which is kind of just a semi-bayonet style add-on that you can also get if you ask nicely and get in the right lineup when you get drafted. These Mutalisks here are still just sort of flying in the middle of the base, so as far as map awareness goes, StarIICraft was doing quite well with the map awareness. There's another Mutalisk down here, but it's kind of spreading out the army quite a bit. If you look at RuSH's control there, he's just spreading out the units so that they don't get all hit with Banelings, and I think, he's just going to lose out on a lot of timing there, because these Banelings, as they were being dredged in, and the Widow Mines are definitely taking out a number of those and doing a little bit of damage, and then the remainder of them, those Banelings, just get taken down with a big stim, and the rest of these medevacs are just healing everybody back up, so the stim does not last, well, certainly not get wasted. It was probably a very good stim just happening there. I don't know why I'm using the word probably, but here come a number of Speedlings and Mutalisks coming back in, but there's this number of Marines coming through here. They are all coming in all at the same time. You look at the number of Marines, 10 Marines being built at the exact same time. These production billions are just quite impressive right now, so RuSH just continuing to get out the M&M, and then at the same time with the M&M, he also managed to get out a number of these excellent Widow Mines, which is just slowly pecking through, and the bonus that they have there is that they weaken down the Zerg army, and then just a couple, this number of Stim Marines with the medevacs on top of them, they are able to put in the work, and here they come again. There's a couple at the same time. No, I thought they were lifting up, but I couldn't quite tell, but the Marines are still just working their way through this fourth base. I'm not sure they... there we go. So there's a scan right there for RuSH. So RuSH does notice that there's another base down here. And again, what you want to do is catch the expansions, because if you come in here to the main, yes, you're going to get all the tech, but there's really not much left in the way of the workers and the mining time there, and you're not really going to do much with the economy. Here's the conga line of Marines traipsing their way across the map, 10 at a time being built at any given moment. Here's a couple of Widow Mines also at the same time, and yet we're getting up towards level 3, so we're at +2, and I think being up against these particular Zerg units is you're not really going to see... Yep, you do have a +2 attack, but nothing in the way of... defense, so no armor, no carapace just there, and I don't think... No, there's not much on there. And didn't go for the Roach Warren. In fact, I don't see a Roach Warren. I don't think I see one. No, I just see the upgrades. I see the Baneling Nest. I see the Infestor Pit, the Spire. So Mutalisk, trying for a Muta-Baneling. I'm not really sure if Muta-Baneling is really going to do it up against Terran Bio, unless you continue making the Banelings fast enough, and I think keeping everything together, honestly, I think that would have done a little bit more damage, but the only other thing that probably would have done well against this was going to be some upgrades, and I don't see any upgrades. I do see just a +1 on the Flyers, the Mutalisks. Whew, well, it's a much more exciting game. This is... just about as fast. We check up there, we're around the 100 EPM range, but definitely much more exciting. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of base harassment and management, and the attempted base harassed by RuSH was brought back as a defense. So, that's the Friday Faff. Leave me a comment down below, send me an email, ziggityzig@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter @ziggityzig. Stay tuned.